Hold on to your hats and get ready for Omega. This is run number 3 of the Final Fantasy V Four-Drop Fiesta in the year 2019, and this is a battle with Omega using Black Mage, Chemist, Summoner, and Bard. Now, this party is known as probably one of the easiest parties for beating Omega, but Omega has a way of spoiling even the best laid plans. So you can see my strategies kind of change as we go throughout the battle here. So I come in with haste on 3 characters and a reflect ring on my Chemist. So the Chemist is not going to get a turn until he can drink a speed potion for himself. So I made my Chemist the primary damage dealer here. Probably was a suboptimal choice, given that he can't boost his lightning damage with a rod, and the Summoner and the Black Mage can. So he's going to be doing not as much damage as we would hope for. So the other 3 are going to keep Omega stun locked until my Chemist is able to get another turn and kind of get into the action a little bit. So the bards are all singing the love song, which puts Omega into the stop status. You have to continually sing that over and over again because any heavy target has a different formula for how long stop hangs around, and it's only a couple of ticks of the ATB bar. So you can see damage that low is going to make this battle take quite a long time. So here I'm stopping to rethink what to do. Also, I am waiting for the ATB bar to tick, because what can happen is if you have 3 characters who kind of have their turns aligned, you can sing 3 love songs and then suddenly have a gap of a pretty good spot in the ATB bar where you don't have anybody acting. And I believe we do see Omega get a turn during one of those gaps. So we're trying not to create a gap that he can take advantage of. So here I'm looking in my inventory, and I'm realizing here that I did not buy enough hero drinks, or enough of the hero drinks to level my character up as much as I would have liked to before we came down here. So in an effort to save using another mix, which would have just put us into haste status, I kind of was relying on the hero drinks, and then I forgot I didn't have as many hero drinks as we thought we did. So you'll see me kind of adjust my strategy here as the battle goes on. So again, what I'm doing sometimes there is I'm waiting when a character's turn comes up. I am waiting until the ATB bar starts moving again and ticks up a couple of spots before using that song. So after 1 hero drink, you can see the damage has gone up by 500. That's pretty nice. Some people like to use only 2 singers to stun lock Omega, and I believe that is technically possible if your timing is really, really, really good. But I generally like to stick with 3, although you'll see me drift from that a little bit when I feel like it's safe to do so, and it's not always safe to do so. So here he's going to drink our other hero drink, our other hero potion, just to raise his level another 10 and boost his multiplier. Omega is weak to the Thunder Spell, but doing all that damage is still kind of hard if you can't boost your elemental power. So bumping your level up by 10 is a worthwhile endeavor there. Another choice is I could have the Bard start singing the hero song to boost up my levels, but that would be pretty dicey, because then I'd have 1 fewer singer on the stop song. And then you're also getting the penalty from Reflect, I should say. So you kind of have a lot of things working against you with Omega. The penalty from Reflect is one of them. You'll see us overcome that in a little bit when we feel like we have a chance. And just as I was waiting the ATB a little bit there, the stop status expired, and Omega gets a turn and uses Delta attack on my Black Mage. So I'm going to have to keep him stun locked and also try to get my other singer going again to continue that stun lock. So here's the strategy. I'm casting Carbuncle right here to put us into Reflect status. I'm going a little bit aggressive right here, because at this point I'm already considering maybe re-rolling the battle with a different setup. And it was actually not the right choice to cast Carbuncle there, because it could not put the Reflect status on my Black Mage while she was in Stone status. So here you're going to see my Summoner cast Carbuncle again, because I really need it on everybody to do what I'm about to do. And that is this. Oh, she didn't cast Carbuncle. I'm sorry, she was using a song there. That's my bad. We do set that up here soon. so another song will lock him down. But what you'll see happen here is when you have Reflect on everybody and you bounce an AoE spell, it does 4 times half damage to the target. And so you'll get 4 half damage Bolt 3s going at Omega. Because right now, we're only getting 1 half damage Bolt 3 going at him. But when we reflect it off of 4 characters, you'll see that. That's a really nice damage printout, and I'm actually considering having my Black Mage go on the offensive here too with that, so the same strategy, if I can squeeze in a casting, because she has a boosted rod. She doesn't have the level boosts that the Chemist has, but she has a rod to boost the damage, so she'll be able to do nice damage too if she can squeeze in an action here after a song. So again, we are doing the all-targeting Bolt Bounce. And so that's a nice thing about having access to Carbuncle with a Summoner. You don't have to have 4 wall rings to do that. You can just have your Summoner cast Carbuncle, and then everybody's in Reflect status, so you can bounce 4 half damage spells. As you can see, Omega's got a lot of hit points to work through, and even with all these singers keeping him locked down, it's tricky. And so there's another nice bounced Bolt 3, another 5,500 damage. And the Black Mage is going back for the song. Probably could have squeezed in a casting there from the Black Mage because the Bard was just up top. But if Omega, even if it doesn't get an actual turn, his counterattacks can be nastier than his regular routine attacks. He can have a double counterattack. So you really want to make sure he is in stop status when you actually hit him, when you actually cast. That's almost more important. And you can see right there, between selecting the casting of my spell and the triggering of the spell, the Reflect status expired on this character. So Reflect was still good as I selected that spell attack. And then just as I was going into the attack animation, it expired and killed 2 of my characters. Interesting, it did not expire on the Bard until just after. That almost suggests that that there might be some random element in how long that Reflect status lasts, and that somehow hers was able to stay up, even though it was applied at the same time. But clearly we were casting right on the edge of where the Reflect status was going to expire. And so here I just barely squeezed out another stun lock on Omega. At any time, if he gets an action, he's going to be doing Surge Beam, likely because Delta Attack was his first attack, and I believe his second one is going to be Surge Beam, without looking at the guide in front of me. And so we're going to go back on the offensive here, although I'm now only just doing 1 single bounce. Summoner is going to apply another Sildra, another Carbuncle. And I have to have my Black Mage be another Singer. I'm trying to see if I can squeeze in a Black Mage casting here sometime. But things always are tight with Omega, and now that I'm this far into the battle, I do want to just go ahead and finish the fight. And now you see my Chemist has run out of MP, so we are going to use the Elixir. And Elixir is just going to put us back at full MP, because I know that it's going to take a few more castings to beat Omega. So we drank the last 2 hero drinks that we had that I did not buy before we came down here. And then we have the 1 Elixir used, which is not a bad item consumption for Omega. And I probably would have consumed more hero drinks if I had a chance. Here's the Black Mage getting an attack with the Bolt 3. And you can see she's doing more damage than the Chemist, and the Chemist is 20 levels higher than she is. And that's due to, I mean, her higher multiplier naturally as a Black Mage, but then also her boosting the damage with the rod. So you can see the Chemist did about 53, 54, and the Black Mage did about 58, and that's with 20 fewer levels. So at this point, we're in fairly good shape. I've got Reflect on. I have potentially 2 casters who are using their spells, because the turns of the Summoner and the Bard right now are lined up pretty well. There's over 6,000. So when their turns line up nicely where they're kind of evenly spaced like that, I feel more confident in having two characters on the offensive. I also know we're pretty close to the end of Omega's hit points, so I feel like I can get a little bit more aggressive here. And if it does fire something silly off at me, I'm just going to try to bounce things down because I haven't been specifically counting hit points, but I know we must be in the last 10,000 or so. And there is a single target bounced Bolt 3 from the Black Mage, and that is it for Omega. So the Bard and Chemist, Bard is just a nice way to beat this battle. If you have a Bard, you can pretty much have a win in your pocket if you've got 3 Singers. If you can find a way to put some damage onto Omega, and Reflect Ring is a great way to do that. So we are going on with the Omega, Metal, and all those AP. So we've got a few more skills mastered. Next, we're going to be fighting Shinryu, and then the final battle here in Run 3 of 2019.